Hello, community, and welcome back to another Keeping It Real with Dr. Anita podcast. I am your host, Dr. Anita Polite Wilson, C-Suite Trusted Advisor, Board Director, and Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Strategy Consultant, helping members of the C-Suite and their teams reframe diversity conversations from difficult to different. Today, I stand before you not only as a scholar practitioner in the field of human and organizational systems, but also as a diversity, inclusion, and belonging consultant with the desire to coach leaders and teams to navigate culture, complexity, and change in the turbulent landscape of corporate America. We find ourselves at a critical juncture where the very foundation of diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI, in our corporate sphere is under siege. Recent articles from sources such as the Washington Post, Axios, and Bloomberg paint a grim picture about the state of DEI in our workplaces. These publications shed light on the precarious situation we face. DEI efforts are at risk, and 2024 might indeed be a make or break year for these initiatives, or so it seems. What's at stake here? It's not just about optics or ticking off boxes on a corporate checklist. No, the essence of DEI is about fostering environments where every individual feels valued, respected, and empowered to contribute their unique perspectives and talents. It's about dismantling systemic barriers and fostering a culture of belonging where everyone has equal opportunities for success. Yet, despite the noble intentions behind DEI initiatives, companies are scaling back on their commitments. They're retreating from the very principles that should guide their actions. Why? The reasons are manifold, from a fear of backlash to a misguided belief that DEI efforts are somehow unrelated to profitability. But let me make one thing abundantly clear. Investing in DEI is not just the right thing to do ethically. It's also a strategic imperative for long-term success. Research consistently demonstrates that diverse teams outperform homogeneous ones. Companies that prioritize inclusion and equity see higher levels of innovation, employee satisfaction, and ultimately financial performance. So, what can we do in the face of this crisis? How can we reignite the flames of DEI in corporate America? One powerful avenue is through events like the Great Place to Work for All Summit. It isn't just another conference, it's a beacon of hope in these tumultuous times. It's a gathering of like minded individuals who refuse to accept the status quo, who believe in the transformative power of diversity, inclusion, and belonging. By attending the Great Place to Work for All Summit, people aren't just checking a box or appeasing stakeholders. No, people are actively engaging in the hard work of driving meaningful change. People are learning from experts and thought leaders who are at the forefront of the DEI movement. People are exchanging ideas, best practices, and innovative strategies for fostering inclusive cultures. But perhaps most importantly, by participating in events like the Great Place to Work for All Summit, people are sending a powerful message to organizations and the broader business community. People are saying loud and clear that DEI is not negotiable and that it's not a trend to be discarded when it becomes inconvenient. People are demonstrating a commitment to building workplaces where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. And make no mistake, this isn't just a moral imperative, it's also a savvy business decision. As I've already said today and in previous podcasts, research from organizations like McKinsey and Company and Boston Consulting Group has consistently shown that companies with diverse leadership teams and inclusive cultures outperform their peers financially. So, as we navigate these turbulent waters, let us not succumb to despair or complacency. Let us rise to the challenge before us with courage, conviction, and a steadfast commitment to DEI. Let us leverage platforms like the Great Place to Work for All Summit to drive real, tangible change in our organizations and beyond. Together, we can create are not just buzzwords, but fundamental pillars of our corporate success. To that end, I'm excited to celebrate the re-release of my most popular podcast series with Mr. Michael Bush, CEO of Great Place to Work. With the Great Place to Work Summit taking place next week, May 7th through 9th in New Orleans, Louisiana, they're expecting to draw 1,500 leaders from over 500 companies on their journey to create great places to work for all. In case you can't make it to New Orleans, don't worry. You can join me every Saturday this month to enjoy the rebroadcast of my series of real conversations from the C-suite with Mr. Michael Bush and experience his wit and wisdom as many times as you like. If you'd like to hear this podcast again or any of my previous podcasts, please visit my website at drnita.com. Remember to spell out the word doctor. And on the landing page, click on the link that says Keeping It Real Podcast. And while you're there, please check out my resources and my services. In the meantime, please join me by getting in the flow. Follow, like, and overshare with your network any podcast that helps you reframe diversity conversations from difficult to different. Until next time, this is Dr. Nita reminding you to stay blessed and keep it real.